Hey, brothers and sisters. Um, I never really intended to do this video, but I had a question from Catherine Martin. Um, Catherine, if you're out there, I tried to respond to you, but YouTube will not let me get back to you. I tried for 2 hours to locate you. I found your site, and I even subscribed to you, but there was no way to leave a message to answer your question. Catherine asked me a question about being in martial arts and being a Christian. Um, she's under the assumption that all martial arts are based upon Buddhism, but that's just not true. It's kind of like, remember, if anybody remembers, people used to say, oh, when you're a black belt, you have to register your hands as lethal weapons. It's one of those fallacies. It's an old wives' tale. It's just not true. And martial arts is not all based on Buddhism. I do two styles of martial arts. I do Taekwondo, old style Taekwondo, which is combat, self-defense style, not the modern Olympic style. I did compete in that realm, and I was very successful, made it to the nationals several occasions. But what I teach is an older style, which is mainly for combat. And I blend it with jiu-jitsu, and it makes a real good combination. But Taekwondo comes from Korea. And a lot of people don't recall, but Korea was unlike Japan. You know, when the American GIs stayed in Japan, they didn't really spread Christianity very well or very much. I don't know why, and I don't know the history of it. I just know that Japan didn't embrace Christianity, but Korea did. As a matter of fact, it's said that Korea has a higher number of spirit-filled believers per capita than any other country in the world. That if you actually go to Korea, you can feel the difference in the spirit realm because there are so many spiritual warriors praying. Anyways, my instructor was a guy named Master Kang Ik Moo. And my life actually is similar to the movie Karate Kid. If anyone saw the movie Karate Kid, it's kind of like my life. You know, I was born in the 60s, in the early 61, and I was a teenager in the 70s. Well, hello, anybody who lived through the 70s knows what the 70s were like. And I had two older brothers. Hello, they were not a good influence on me. And just about that age, 13 years old, where you're fixing to go off and start to develop bad habits, I joined this karate school on a whim. And the instructor that was there had mysteriously died in a boating accident, and Master Kong was brought in to teach. So my very first class was his very first class to come in and teach. And he was a 7th degree Grandmaster instructor from Korea, one of the national champions, one of the members of the Rock Army team. That's the Royal Order of Korea. That's like their division of our Navy SEALs. Great fighter. The guys on the Rock Army team would put a knife in their mouth and go after the Viet Cong in the tunnels in Vietnam. The things American soldiers wouldn't do. They were really bad. They were known for being very bad. So he's teaching the first class, and he comes over to me and he starts turning me this way and turning me that way, and he's abruptly just turning my hip and pulling my leg and pointing my toes. And I'm thinking, oh man, I must be terrible, because the class was full. There had to be 30 people in class, and he isn't looking at anyone else but me. He keeps picking on me, and he's up in the front counting, and we're doing moves, and he's staring at me. He's making eye contact with me, and I'm thinking, oh man, I must stink. And at the end of class, he dismisses class, and he walks up to me and says, you in my office. And I'm thinking, oh man, he's gonna kick me out, because what do I know? I don't know anything about martial arts. I'm a 13-year-old kid in my very first class. I don't know anything. My parents weren't there. It wasn't like that. My brother dropped me off. So I walk in my office, and he says, I said, am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong? I'm so sorry. What did I do? I'll do better next time. And he's like, sit down. Can you be here every day after school? In a real thick, broken English accent. And I said, yeah. Why? He goes, because I'm going to make you a master instructor. And I was floored. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I was there every day. So every day when school got out, I went straight to class, and I was in class until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And it was really great, because it kept me out of that drug scene and that whole scene that was going on back then of hoodlums and dirt bags, and that's where all my friends went. I mean, now I think back, hardly any of them made it out without drug and alcohol addictions, and I didn't get that. So he really kind of saved my life. And years later, we came to Texas together. Well, he came down first, and then I came down after him, started my own business, and then he contacted me one day, had lunch, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to Hawaii." He always loved Hawaii. He goes, "I want to retire there." And I said, "Well, I'm not following you. My business is going great." He's like, "No, I know, I understand." And then a couple years later, I went to, I think it was 1991, I went there to test for my 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And while I was there, he had me meet him someplace with some friends of his. And I had just gotten saved, like, I want to say 6 months, 8 months earlier. And I went to meet him there, but he was with some friends. They were at a booth, and I noticed Bibles. And he said, "Just go sit down over there, have a cup of coffee. I'll be with you in a second." I went and sat down over there, and he came over and sat down. I said, "Master Kong, were you doing Bible study?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Are you a believer?" He said, "Yes." And I looked at him, I said, "I am too." And we high-fived each other and hugged. It was awesome. It was like, it was just the coolest thing in the whole world. And years ago, I took any reference to anything that had anything to do with spiritualism or Buddhism out of it. Right after I got saved, I removed everything. And martial arts, the way that I teach it, is strictly an opportunity to instill discipline and hard work and good values and respecting parents. The goal is that kids go through their whole life and never have to defend themselves. But if they do, there ought to be something else that they get out of this. So everything that we do is reinforcing biblical values, the 10 Commandments. One of our tenets is, "I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo: courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and indomitable spirit." Well, indomitable spirit is not a spiritual thing. It's courage. It's no fear. And I'm preaching the gospel. And as I go through all these tenets, I'm always relating it to the Bible. So the kids are always getting biblical lessons out of the martial arts training. So, Catherine, if you're hearing me, yeah, you can do martial arts and not be a Buddhist. And you can do martial arts and take Christian boys, which are almost turned into little girls, and make them courageous, spiritual warriors. Hey guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.